Greetings from the Fredericktown homestead. I got one level load, or a little bit less than level after I shook it down on the way over here. Looked forward than that when I left the other side, but you can see what the compost pile looks like. Bear pretty well tore it apart. And it looks like it's all sawdust now. But I plan to add copious amounts of grass to it today. This load's going on it, and this lawn hopefully is going on it. I'm going to put the tires back down. I got them up, but it's actually the opposite. I got them down, I'm going to put them up. So go back down to a normal mowing depth, and I should be able to mow this pretty quickly, I hope. A lot of steps. If you'd like to join us here at the Fredericktown homestead, there is a position available. You live in this house, and I live in this house too, but I'm gone a lot. I teach you what I know about homesteading, about raising your own food. I was born in 1951 and mentored under a man that was born in 1896, Archie Morse. He had a poultry business. He saw the first automobile come into Henniker, New Hampshire. He was in Hopkinton, and the automobile was in that town, first time ever. And they said they were going to try and make it over to Henniker, 7 miles away. So he got on a train, beat it back to Henniker, and went around the town square telling everybody there was a horseless carriage coming to town. There's a horseless carriage coming to town. And I guess it was quite a spectacle when they finally rolled into town about 3 hours later, a 7-mile trip. But the roads were made for horses back then, horse and wagons, not automobiles. That was a Stanley steamer that was the first vehicle to ever come into Henniker, New Hampshire. Made in, weren't Stanley steamers made out in Colorado? But I'm not sure. I think so. But yeah. So I studied under Archie. He taught me how to milk and do rabbits and do pigs, his style, including butchering and raising and buying and selling and containing, fencing. Back then we weren't big on electric fences. When I first came to Archie Morse's, there weren't any electric fences, but during the 6 years I was there, electric fences came into being, and I became a representative for Gallagher for the area, and people would come to me with their questions and whatnot of Gallagher, and I could help them set up their fences so that they would contain whatever critter they were trying to keep in. Premier 1 hadn't come around, and certainly the bad idea of solar fences had never crossed anybody's mind. It never should have. It's a poor idea. Plug-in fences are the way to go, in my humble opinion. But yeah, I'd like to homestead here, which to me means raising my own food, raising your own food. It would be your homestead as much as mine. I just lucked into getting this place. It's got more acres than you can shake a stick at. It's the biggest land holding in Morrow County. It's over a square mile. And our nearest neighbor you can see down there, and that farm down there over the woodpile, that's our nearest neighbor. That's an Amishman. We have Amishmen for all of our neighbors here. We're right in the middle of an Amish community. I'm not Amish. Some think I look slightly Amish. I always wear an orange shirt to differentiate me from the Amish. That's not really the reason I wear the orange shirt, but I do wear an orange shirt all the time. It serves me well. But I'm not Amish. You won't be Amish if you come here, but like me, you'll become part of the community. And part of the community, I mean, I'm a Yoder toter. I use the big buggy to go to a place like the Outer Banks. I haul the Amish when they want to go further than what the horse and buggy will take them. Most of the runs I take are from other communities other than this one. Yesterday I was over to Apple Creek to pick up, that was the load to Kentucky. You see, I've been to Canyon City, Colorado, Zion Canyon, Utah. Actually, I've been to 5 of the state parks in Utah, Montana, the Badlands, South Dakota. I quite often go over to Canastota, South Dakota, and of course the Badlands are in South Dakota. And then there's Maine. That's one of my old haunts. I used to live in New Hampshire. And Colorado, I did a big trip to Colorado this year. We brought home 5 bull elk and a bull mule deer. Florida, I go to Florida quite often, Pinecraft in Sarasota. And I've been other places in Florida with the Amish. Been way down to the Keys, and I really like the state of Georgia. Silverton, Colorado, the top end of the Durango-Silverton Railway. If you ever get a chance to eat here, this Butch Cassidy's Hideout, Motel and Cafe, and there's the address of it, Circleville, Utah. That's run by some of the most old order, what are they? They're, Utah. They're, help me out here. But they dress in long skirts. They dress very plain. They talk very plain. They are beautiful to look at, and their food is just out of this world. New Hampshire. This is a little bit of a joke. P-I-E, and that's because it's Yoder's, Sarasota, Florida. That's because they make some great pies there. And I call it Yoder Toter 14 because if you call it a 15-passenger van, you'll get 15 passengers. I can't take 15 passengers. I need a place to sit, so it's a 14-passenger van plus me. Young's Lobster Pound, one of my favorites. That's in Bethel, Maine. When I go there, I usually get the biggest lobster they got. That suits me just about right. 4-pound lobster is just about right for me. And then there's all you can eat Captain George's Seafood Restaurant. That's in the Outer Banks. Mount Gilead, where I lived for so long, that's just the town just to the west of here, and now I live here. West Virginia, I go down there. That's a neighboring state, so I go there quite often. Vermont, what happens here stays here, but nothing ever really happens here. That's Vermont. And we went up the Mount Washington with this vehicle. The Badlands, I visited the world's largest truck stop. That used to be my mailing address, actually, when I drove big truck. I love Minnesota, Bryce Canyon, Nevada, Cherry Grove, Ocean Isle Beach, Tybee Island, Durango Silverton Railway, Sunset Beach. All these here, Sunset Beach, Ocean Island Beach, Cherry Grove, those are all right along I want to call it the North Carolina beach, right there on the coastline there. And Tybee Island, that's in Georgia. Also, that's a special place for me. But yeah, that's what I do. I haul the Amish, so I'm gone a fair amount of the time, you can imagine. But I need somebody here, somebody that'll look after animals and raise a big garden, raise their own food. I'd like to do it as organically as possible. We tried a greenhouse right off of the house. Would have worked, but they had to leave, Roger and Sandra, but they're out walking the Appalachian Trail right now. Yeah, but I want to build a big hoop barn here, one with bent metal, get from the bootstrap farmer, get a metal bender and use metal hoops that won't break like those do. The first thing that happened with this was the wind broke some of the plastic PVC, so that showed us something. The wind's just too strong for that kind of thing. Some people can get away with it, but we get a lot of wind here. So, but I would like to build a hoop barn. It would probably go right out here, right next to the road. If you'd like to join me here, my email is Jbthemilker. J is in just, B is in beautiful, Themilker, Jbthemilker@gmail.com. I answer my email pretty well. I don't get a lot. Nobody's emailing me about this offer. Been trying to find somebody since February. I've got a run coming up to Wisconsin. I'm going to go up to that farm up there and ask if the boy there, the one that did my plowing for me, I wonder if he'll come down once a day and check on Bear Dog and He Cat and She Cat. Need somebody to. Really need somebody here. It's a delightful place. I can't state that enough. The Amish embrace us as part of the community, even though we're not Amish. It's a healthy lifestyle, growing healthy food, being independent of the food chain, the grocery store, as much as we can. We've got very, very cheap electricity here. The highest one I paid so far was $64. I had two that were down in the 30s. I don't know why it went up like it did, but yeah, the last one was $68. 64, 68, something like that. But that's for a month of everything. And we got electric baseboard heat in the house. I like to run the wood stove through the winter, but fall and spring, when it's too warm during the day for a wood stove, we just let the automatic thermostat on the electric baseboard heat do the heating, and that's all part of that $68, $64, whatever it was. So we got cheap electricity, and then we got 3 cell towers, 2 on our property. One of them is 5G. When I upload this, what is it now? It's 14-minute video so far, and it'll take me less than probably 5 minutes to upload it. I don't have Wi-Fi because with 4G on my phone and my tablet, I can just use my phone to tether, and I haven't found any need for Wi-Fi. I just use the 5G. It's very fast, faster than you can imagine if you haven't had it. Yeah, we got 5G here. That tower just went in last winter, and yeah, I'd be interested in talking to you if you'd like to homestead. Can't find a place maybe, or are looking for a place and looking for a base to look from. I have a 2-year lease here. The rent is $500 a month, but I pay half. And so far we haven't had to pay any because of the work we've done on the farm. But even if we pay full whack at $500 a month, it'll be $250 for you. That's for a farm that's bigger than Justin Rhodes, bigger than Arms Family Homestead. It's a big farm. It's not quite as big as the one out there in Wyoming. What's her name? The really pretty girl. I don't have quite that much land, but in Ohio we're very big, and the agreement I have with the landlord is we can use as much land as we need, as long as we leave it better than we found it. And that's kind of my mantra all the way around. We try and leave things better than we found them. As you can see, we have quite a supply of scrap wood from the sawmills. This pile here just arrived while it's going down to Kentucky. All but the stack stuff there. Yeah, not used to talking. But I got quite a bit of wood drying. I'm just starting a new stack in the corn crib here, but I got a tall stack like that in the Quonset hut, as well as cherry and maple stuck in there in board form. There's quite a active farmers market here. Any extra produce we produce can be marketed. Once the season kicks in, we'll be having Owl Creek Produce March. That's the Amish market. Will happen 3 days a week. Through the winter, it happens 1 day a week all winter. And I'd like to raise some meat birds. I'd like to do quite a few chicken tractors here to eliminate some of the mowing. I'd like to do a chicken tractor of egg birds with egg boxes on it, and then I'd like to do a chicken tractor of meat birds, either Cornish crosses or the red ones. I'm not picky, I'll do either way. But I'd like to do some meat birds. I don't like chicken that you buy at the restaurant, but I think if I grew it myself, I'd feel better about it. And then I'd like to raise birds ready to lay. I'd like to get one chicken tractor dedicated to raising up young ones ready to go, ready to lay. And there's quite a market for them among the Amish here and the English. But if you can raise up birds just ready to lay, fresh birds, organic, there's quite a market here. 150 acres of the land is leased out to tillage, and that's why the big equipment is in the shed there, and that's why the fields are plowed like they are. And this will be corn this year. Goes beans, corn, beans, corn, beans, corn. And that's conventional farming. That's going to be one of the challenges, to be so close to conventional farming. But hey, that's life, you know. We got a big garden here, got garden space over there, got a compost pile. Yeah, if you'd like to be a part of all this, give me an email at jbthemilker@gmail.com. I'm really in need of somebody. I can't do all this myself. I've been doing it myself since February, but I find that I'm not getting ahead at all. I can't raise animals while I'm traveling, and I really need somebody here so that we can do animals. We do have 2 cats that are friendly, very friendly, and approximately 5 feral cats. I put the word out that I'd feed any cats that you wanted to drop off here, and I think I've got about 5 of them now. And I keep this water full and their food full, and haven't talked to them at all, but they're here and they help with the rodent population. And of course we have our ever vigilant livestock guardian dog. He's been on duty all night, so he's a bit tired right now, but yeah, if you'd like to be a part of it, contact me, Jbthemilker at gmail.com. I'm going to get back to mowing the lawn. This is what it looked like before, and I'll give you another one after. And the front yard too, maybe. Who knows what I'll get done. Maybe I'll get this done too. It needs it. All right. God bless from the Fredericktown homestead.